Hi, and welcome to another episode of Talking Points with Preferred Health Magazine. I'm your host, Angelina Capiello. We're speaking today to Malea Rose. She's taking the world by storm as a multi-talented actress, writer, former competitive surfer, and now CEO of her own skincare company, Vie En Rose. With over 15 years in the entertainment industry, she has acted with some of Hollywood's biggest stars, directors, and writers. And now she's taken her passion and love for skincare and shifted her focus onto this new brand. Let's listen. Career. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've been in the industry for about 15 years, it says here. You've worked with some great celebrities, Halle Barry, Vin Diesel, Haggis. These are actors, directors, writers.
Oscar winners.
Jason Lee. I wanted to first ask what sparks your interest in acting?
I grew up on Kauai in the most rural small town. It was basically red dirt with beaches, and it was the jungle, and there was nothing glamorous about it. And I was so fortunate because my grandparents were from New York. And so I would get to go and I kind of have the best of both worlds. And I would get to go see these Broadway shows, and I'd get to see them like through my grandmother's eyes. And so they just had this amazing, collection of the coolest old films, from Viva Las Vegas, Bye Bye Birdie, How to Marry a Millionaire, just the most incredible movies. And I actually, to be honest with you, never wanted to do anything else. The second I saw that, I was like, I want to do this with my life.
So that was the inspiration in itself.
It was the inspiration itself, as I saw the glam and just how beautiful these people were and how much fun they were having. Even watching Little Orphan Annie, which I watched a gazillion times.
That must be my favorite.
Oh my God, it's the best. And yeah, I never wanted to do anything else. And it's funny because in our yearbooks from high school, everyone says, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. I'm the only person that actually went out and did what they wanted to do.
Right. Good. And that just says a lot to who you are and your personality. You're a go-getter. You strive for excellence, I guess, right?
I am a little too much like that. I'm very Virgo. Once I commit to something, I commit.
Well, that's not a bad thing. It hasn't been a bad thing for you so far, right? It's working for you.
I'm kind of one of those trial and error people where I'm like, you know what? If it doesn't work, I will fall apart, and then I'm going to pick myself up and go get an MBA.
Excellent. That's right. That's great. Well, listen, being in front of the camera, I mean, you started this company, right? So you started this skincare line. You turned your passions from acting to now being the CEO of your own skincare line, which is amazing. By the way, I do want to say I did get the kit before I spoke to you, and I've been using it, and it's probably one of my favorite products now. So thank you for that. But
by the way, I was about to say your skin looks flawless.
Well, it's working. It's working. But I want to say, being in front of the camera, obviously you're wearing makeup, this is like a daily thing. Probably your skin must have suffered a bit from wearing that heavier makeup when in your acting career. Did you find that to be a case for you?
Yeah. And especially because on set, a lot of makeup artists aren't looking at ingredients. They're looking at what looks best on camera, and all day they're powdering your face because inevitably you get shiny, and in shots there needs to be continuity. And so all day they're just caking stuff on you, and then you have lunch breaks, and then they don't wash your face in between. You get back into the makeup chair, and then they cake a whole new layer on you. And my skin, especially coming from Hawaii where it was so humid and clean, and then the smoggy LA, it started to have these terrible reactions. I was sensitive to everything. I was breaking out in these rashy adult acne-ish things that were not only painful, but like affected my self-esteem.
Yeah, sure.
Even if you didn't see it, I felt like it was all anyone could see on me.
Right.
And I really, truly realized how we feel is how we look.
That is true. I agree.
And yeah. And so I never set out to start a company. I mean, I had no business background. I didn't know what I was doing. I just set out to cure my own skin issues because I was going to Sephora every day saying, well, this is for dry skin, but it's making me have a rash. And this is for oily skin, but it's drying me out, but it's making this better. And there was nothing that was all in one that actually gave results.
Right. And so, I mean, let's talk about that a little bit too, because you obviously aren't just some celebrity, endorsing a product. You really started this company out of a necessity that you were going through something, right? With the autoimmune disease. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so my autoimmune disease, I have Graves' disease. I found out a little over a decade ago. I had to have surgery on my leg. And the day before I was going into surgery, they called me up and they said, you cannot go under anesthesia. You will have a heart attack.
Oh my
And I'm
God.
like, yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, what? Like, and I'm prepared. My mom's in town to take care of me. And, surgery's scary enough. And they tell me that my thyroid levels are so high and so whacked that like I said, my metabolism was so crazy that I would metabolize the anesthesia and I would basically have a heart attack when I went under.
Oh my
And
God.
so they canceled the surgery and I had to go and do every sort of testing, you know, every kind of blood testing, every kind of radiology testing known to man, and get my hormone levels back on track. And I didn't realize I probably had it for so long because I've always suffered from insomnia, dry skin, I can be very up and very down. And, what you don't realize is that your thyroid really is the center of so much of your life. It affects your mood, it affects your metabolism, it affects, your sleeping, it affects having sweaty palms or not, or being too cold.
Right.
And I didn't know that I'd been dealing with this my entire life, probably. And so it's interesting because it's, you know, I I've had people actually use it against me when I tell them that I have Graves' disease.
Really?
I once dated a guy who told me that I interrupted.
What does that even mean?
Like because I have Graves' disease, I interrupted him.
That's
Or, like I've been shamed for having it. And what people don't understand is you deal with it seems like a very small thing, but it's actually like every day of my life.
yes.
I have to level my pills. I have to level my body. I have to get blood tests every 3 months. And, there's some days when I'm on a lot of the pills that I feel like my body is glued down to the bed. I have no energy. I am lethargic. I have to cut my calories in half unless I want a balloon. And then I can tell when my thyroid's really swollen because then I am so hyperactive. I have the worst insomnia. I get like clammy hands.
Uh,
And yeah, it's horrible. And if you don't treat it, it can lead to heart attacks.
Now, I do know that because I also have a hypothyroid, so I'm very familiar with that. And you're right, but by the time you realize that you have it, especially a Graves' disease, it's further along at that point. Then you've been dealing with it for quite some time.
Yeah.
It doesn't
I
happen
started,
overnight.
don't ever Google MD world because I started Google MDing, and one of the effects that can be of Graves' disease is to have your eyes bulge.
Yes, I have a friend that actually happened too. So yes,
Yeah.
been
So
lucky with that. Yes.
yeah. So I was like, and this is gonna happen too, but it
Yeah.
didn't, thank God. My
Oh,
eyes are nice, perfectly set in the back of my head.
right,
Thank
because
you.
it's the inflammation. And now that is something that I find interesting also about your line. We can speak about that because the ingredients that you use are CBD, there's Canna Rose, which is very specific to your brand, which I
Yeah.
love. Um, but again, that is good for inflammation. And when it comes to Graves' disease, that's a big deal. So tell me about the products and kind of tell me about those ingredients that you chose to use.
Yeah, so I never set out to create, CBD can be very hokey, and the government, obviously, as we know, if you're educated, the government makes money off of keeping you sick. So anything that can get you off of pharmaceuticals, opioids, acne medications is illegal and banned. So CBD has this terrible taboo of not only weed culture, but also being not good or cliche, and it's also still in a class 1 with opioids, so they won't do clinical testing, which I find to be quite validating in the fact that it is something that is such a miracle component. So when I started formulating, I have all my formulations with and without CBD. And let me tell you, you can see the difference. Inflammation of the skin is what causes acne, psoriasis, rosacea, inflammation of the thyroid causes, hyperactive thyroidism. Inflammation of the gut causes all sorts of gut disease and, inflammation of the body. So CBD is the most amazing ingredient because it not only does that, but it hits the three main causes of aging, which is inflammation, dehydration, and free radical damage. So it's a miracle plant. And we haven't even tapped into the other molecules like the CBNs, the CBGs, and all that stuff. I have absolutely no THC in my products because we absorb 60% of what we put on our skin. THC, little bits, is great for pain. But like I have friends who use my products who have Lyme's disease. They swear by it. It's the only thing that gets their hands from having chronic pain and inflammation. Friends that will break out with rashes. They put the oil on and they wake up the next morning and they're gone. There is something to the formulations, and it's way past just like the canna rose and the CBD. My ingredients are the absolute best ingredients on the market because again, I was my own customer. I was curing my own skin, and my lab will never take a startup ever again because I fought them tooth and nail about every single I sat there and I Googled every single ingredient, what its purpose was. Is this emulsifying? Is this for, keeping the product this way? Is it for absorption? And so I have Swiss glacier water, alpine rose stem cell, 30 botanicals, coconut water, rose water, aquacell, which is derived from watermelon and apple rind and lentils. I hyaluronic acid, even if you took the CBD out, it would still be the best ingredients you've ever used in your entire life.
I love it. Like I said before, I'm just so happy that I got it ahead of time because I always like to do that when I'm trying out a product and I'm going to speak to you about it and have you in the magazine and whatnot. I want to make sure it's something that I feel, good about. And
Absolutely.
I mean, the packaging alone was beautiful. I'll show it.
Me, by the way, one woman show.
Beautiful product, just the way opening up and everything was very welcoming, very soft. But I have to say, the Ash Milk Creamy Charcoal Cleanser. This is something that I was surprised to like because I'm usually not a fan of charcoal cleansers. There's usually a smell to them. Some are gritty, some are not. This I put on, and one, it smells beautiful. Every one of your products is fabulous. Love it.
And by the way, there's no perfume. It's all fruit and flower botanicals.
Right. And I love that. And you can tell the difference. You absolutely could. But this goes on so silky smooth. I was kind of surprised about the feeling that my skin got. I feel like all of your products, especially this Mile High Mist, this is unbelievable because this, I can feel it as soon as I spray this on my skin, on my face, you can feel it like hydrate you. It just drenches right into your skin. I love it. But again, it's more of an experience, these products. I am feeling them go to work as soon as they're on me. And do you feel that your clients are getting the same response, that this is more of an experience with your products?
There is not one person that has used my products that is not a repeat client. Like every single person swears by them. And it's so interesting when you set out to create something for yourself and then you see this incredible amount of positive feedback and people loving it, because it makes me want to cry because I am not only curing myself, but it's holistic skincare. So I'm empowering people. I'm making them feel good. And just like you said with the cleanser, I've always had a really hard time with cleansers because it was one or the other. You're either going to have soapy sudsy that's going to dry you out and burn your eyes if you go up to your eyes, or you're going to have a creamy something that's not actually going to clean your skin and leave like a weird residue. So when I created that, the whole point was I don't want to strip the good oils from your skin. I want to keep it there. And it has all those same hydrating ingredients, the rose stem cell, hyaluronics, the Swiss glacier water, all that. But the activated charcoal goes deep within your pores and actually gets rid of all the makeup and debris and environmental stressors. And so, yeah, it's an experience. It smells good. It feels good. It's enjoyable. And that's what I want it to be. And also, I'm a minimalist. I'm not your normal beauty girl that's like, I want to put 3,000 products on my face. No, I want to be able to wash my face. And like, the other day I did an Instagram about like my nighttime routine. It was literally washing my face and then dumping oil on like a disco ball and saying, I'm lazy and I'm going to wake up on self-care Sunday. Perfect. Because this is what I did. And same with the mist. It's like the mist you can do below makeup, above makeup. I have a cult celebrity following with that. Makeup artists are obsessed with it because it makes you just look super dewy and hydrated.
It does. I mean, you
But
can
if
feel it
you,
right away. I was really astonished by it. I love it. I'm going to be one of your repeat customers now.
yay, you're part of the family.
And you do. You have a lot of celebrity clients using your products, but at the same time, you've really made this affordable for a lot of people. So tell
I
me,
really
why was that
try.
important to you to do that? Like, how can your audience again purchase the products?
So right now, because I've been the one woman show, like when I tell you I have done and I have had to learn every single aspect of my business, from trademarking to getting barcodes to packaging to social media to, I'm the janitor, I'm the marketer, I'm the CEO, I'm the founder. But to my detriment, you can only purchase my products DTC on my website, www.vienrose.com. But also now I'm finally at the place that I am taking retailer meetings.
Oh,
And so it's super exciting because now it's going to be more accessible. But I don't believe that you should make products that are too expensive for people, because what you're paying for is the quality. When you look at my oil, you can see it's bright yellow. When you look at my mist and you read the ingredients, my first ingredient is organic aloe. And it's jam-packed with better ingredients than most serums have. And so you are paying exactly for what you're getting. And it was very important to me to have the working girl or the working guy be able to access my products. I couldn't make them any cheaper because I'm doing small batches, which is very expensive. And also, like I said, you're paying for what you get. I wish I could make them more affordable. And I'm such like a baby that I'm such a lover that I've built this weird community just with social media that, people come to me and they'll say, hey, I lost 100 pounds and I've got sagging skin. And I look at their Instagram and I'm like, well, they can't afford this. So I just send it to them, and I've built this community of like the most amazing human beings from all walks of life, whether they're celebrities to they live in Tucson, Arizona and work at, Kohl's or whatever it is. And even on my like website, when people email me and ask me questions, I'll say, if you have questions about any other products and you want like my input because I'm an ingredient crazy human, ask me. Like I'm not just trying to push my products on people. I'm just trying to help.
I'm trying to help because you're coming from a place, a sympathetic place, an empathetic place.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're working it from the bottom up and it's becoming a success. Congratulations to you. We are so happy to have you a part of the PHM family now. Also, I can't wait to share your story.
I'm so happy to be a part of the PHM family. And I am so grateful that you have taken the time to use my products and to actually, smell, touch, feel, and acknowledge all that. It really means a lot to me.
Well, thanks again for coming on. It was good speaking with you, and I
So
will
nice speaking
touch
with
soon.
you. You couldn't be more beautiful. And I'm gonna take a little credit for that gorgeous glowing
Please
skin.
do. Please do. I love your product, and I will be telling everyone about it.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Talking Points with Preferred Health Magazine. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe to our channel. Click that button up there. And be sure to visit www.preferredhealthmagazine.com today for more inspiring stories like what you heard today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, be safe, live in gratitude, and keep health first.